Welcome to another Extreme Super Ultra review. This time it's Vermintide. And with me today is Foehamner.
Hail.
So, Vermintide. Before that, Vermintide is developed by Fat Shark. So, previous games they developed are Bloodsports.tv, War of the Roses, War of the Vikings. So tell us, Fo, what is Vermintide?
I guess the first thing to say about Vermintide is it is self-admittedly a Left 4 Dead, not quite clone, but heavily inspired by Left 4 Dead, and that's not a bad thing. Left 4 Dead's a great game, but set instead of zombies in the world of Warhammer, so the zombies have been replaced by the Skaven Ratmen. In Vermintide, there are 5 different characters, unlike Left 4 Dead, where they are all just, the same, just different stats and quips. They actually are different classes in Vermintide. So the 5 classes are Witch Hunter, Way Watcher, Dwarf Ranger, Bright Wizard, and Empire Soldier. They don't have any inherent class differences. The things that affect how they play is the weapon sets that they have available to them. Like the Bright Wizard is the only one who can use a staff that shoots fireballs, and the Way Watcher has like elvish blades and bows. The Dwarf has strong dwarf axes, hammers, and shields and guns, etc., etc.
So there's a lot of is there more focus in melee compared to Left 4 Dead?
Absolutely. It's first person as well, unlike Left 4 Dead is first person, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, definitely, they give you much less ammo than it's possible to make it through the level with. Like most of these linear, somewhat random, like survival games, there will be fixed and randomly spawning like resource caches throughout the level. So you don't never use your bullets. Like it's one of the things I've been trying to acquire as I play the game is a better sense of how quick is too quick to burn through my ammo supply, and if I should save it or not save it, kind of thing.
And just an FYI for everyone, the game is not actually out yet. As we're recording this, it's gonna be out in about 3 weeks. So Fo played the closed and open beta, right?
Yes.
So yeah, when it's out, it's gonna be $30. Right now you can pre-order it for 10% off.
Yeah, that is correct.
So you said you have a lot of opinions about this game.
Yeah, I really like a lot of the way it feels. Like, I think the first personness and the meleeness makes it cool. Like, so in Left 4 Dead, you're kind of just, you're running and gunning, you're just kind of spraying bullets, more or less. In this, it feels a lot more like a fight for survival. It definitely still is a bit of a button masher because you're fighting swarms of guys, but it's kind of cooler because you're up close and personal, and there's a bit more tacticalness to it. Like if there's a swarm of guys, then you either have to block and back up, or hopefully you have a weapon that does horizontal slashes, because if it does like a vertical top-down slash, then it's only gonna hit one guy and you're gonna get counter it. So the combat's is slightly more tactical that way, and there's a slight dodge too you can do, so that's a little more fun. The things I really don't like about the game, so yeah, just to reiterate, this is early access, so we don't have all the full experience yet. One of the things I don't like about the game is at the end of every mission you do get a bunch of experience based on a number of factors, and your profile will level up, so it's not like tied to a specific character. So if I'm level 3 and I play as the elf and I switch to the witch hunter, it's going to stay level 3, but the only thing the level does, as far as I can tell, is every time you level up you get an item. You will also unlock some item slots, but those are kind of irrelevant, because whenever you level up you get a random item. Whenever you finish a mission you get a random item, also determined by a bunch of factors I'm not going to go into here. And these items are completely random in that I can have just beaten a mission as the witch hunter and it will give me an item for the Bright Wizard. So I'm level 11 right now, which is the highest level I've seen somebody be, except for one other person who was level like 24. and I have not gotten a single item for the Witch Hunter or the Empire Soldier yet. I've only gotten items for the Waywatcher, Ranger, and Bright Wizard, and that's super frustrating because, you know, I don't play those classes that much, and I want to have different experiences with my current class. That being said, I don't know how big a difference the items actually make, because the rarity scale can tweak certain stats. Like the stats items have are damage, speed of attack, how many enemies it can possibly hit, that kind of thing. And then as you get to rarer items, you can get extra features tacked on. Like one I've seen for the Bright Wizard is whenever you shoot a fireball, there's a 5% chance that it will split into 2 fireballs, that kind of thing.
Does the items carry over?
Yes, the equipment items carry over.
So it's tied. So it's technically like tied to your account.
Yeah. And so like there is a forge thing. So like if I throw in 5 crappy white items, I'll get a random, slightly better theoretically green item. But I mean, it's random. So I could put in 5 dwarf ranger items and get out a bright wizard staff, which has happened to me.
That sounds kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah, I really don't like the item system at all.
It sounds like they're gearing it for IAP. I feel so.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean it's very frustrating, and it doesn't feel like a reward or anything when you actually get an item. Kind of just like, finally I got a thing. Actually, I slightly lied. I have actually randomly gotten a item for the Witch Hunter. So you have a melee weapon and you have a ranged weapon slot. The Witch Hunter's starting melee weapon is his iconic like rapier in his right hand and flintlock pistol in his left hand. His starting ranged weapon is dual wielding flintlock pistols, which is super fun. You know what I unlocked? A frickin' crossbow. Why would I ever use a crossbow when I can dual wield pistols? Like,
so the items don't follow. Who's the one holding the dual wield again?
The Witch Hunter.
So as a Witch Hunter, I can get other items such as crossbow for the Witch Hunter. So I won't get different variations of a dual wielding flintlock.
You certainly can. Slightly rarer ones, or even the same gun again.
But it also includes like crossbows and whatever
yes.
other items.
I mean, the dual pistols will all behave the same. It's not going to be like Borderlands, where I have a submachine gun that fires faster the more I fire it, and then have a different submachine gun where the bullets bounce. It's not going to be that different at all. It's just going to be slight tweaks in power level. And each character has their own subset of possible weapons. There's no overlap. Like the Dwarf Ranger has his own crossbow, which is a different item, different kind of crossbow than the Witch Hunter's crossbow, because it's dwarvish made, I guess.
It doesn't sound rewarding as a player.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I feel like I'm level 11 and have nothing to show for it, pretty much. Because even if I have an orange item, I have a great orange item, but it's a Bright Wizard staff, so I've never used it. I do play the Bright Wizard occasionally. The Bright Wizard is actually like my second favorite class. So when I first booted the game, I played the Dwarf Ranger because I really like dwarves, but I found him to be kind of boring because his ranged weapon's very slow firing, and so I had to spend most of my time running up into melee range with people, which is not good, because I feel like in Vermintide, slightly more so than Left 4 Dead, you really want to stay together, because in Left 4 Dead, if you're swarmed by a bunch of trash mobs, you can usually fight your way out. Like they're not gonna melee you down too quickly, and you can like melee knock them back. In Vermintide, they're really good at taking you down quick if they surround you, and it's not that easy to get free once you are surrounded.
In Left 4 Dead, the one of the main principles the developers use is to use the special units to separate the team.
Yes.
So is there an element of that in Vermintide?
Yes, there are special units, but I don't know that I really like how they're used. So there's the 4 special units that most closely are analogous to Left 4 Dead units are the Rattling Gunner, the Gutter Runner, the Globadier, and the Packmaster. The Rattling Gunner has a machine gun, and he'll be more or less stationary until he sees an enemy, and he'll start shooting with his machine gun, which does pretty good damage really quick. and you kind of go a little bit slower. So you kind of just want to get out of his line of sight, otherwise he'll gun you down, and somebody else has to take him out for you. Or, you can hop behind a wall and, play peekaboo with your gun against him. I think he's cool. I think he's the best done one. He certainly looks really cool. The gutter runner is like an assassin, so he'll be sometimes invisible, like he likes using little smoke bombs to disappear, and he'll just jump out at you randomly and start clawing on your face. He's a lot like the hunter from Left 4 Dead 2. The globadier is, I guess, supposed to be a boomer, because he'll throw AoE smoke clouds, which kind of blind and poison you. And the packmaster he's a bit like the jockey, because he has like a stick with a loop on it, and he'll put it around your neck and start pulling you away. And I think these guys would be better, would be more fun to encounter if they were more frequently mixed in with groups of enemies. But what will often happen is we'll finish fighting a swarm of regular pack rats guys, and I'll walk around a corner and I'll get jumped on by a gutter runner or picked up by a packmaster, and my allies are still doing their own thing. And now that's partly on me for going too far ahead, but I also think that just putting them solo out in the world is really frustrating, and they seem to be clumped together a lot in pairs. Like, one time there was a swarm of rats, and then a rat ogre showed up, and then a pack master started pulling me. So it just wiped. Like, we couldn't really do anything about that. So I guess I didn't go into two other sort of special kinds. So the ones I just outlined are the ones that are considered special by the game, because of the game you get end stats on your performance, and those will be tallied as your special kills.
So the sort of like the tank, right?
The tank is a different one, I think. I'm not sure where he's categorized. So the rat ogre is basically the tank. Slightly more boring fight because he doesn't throw anything. He just kind of rages out and hits, and when he's by himself, he's very boring because he's a huge damage sponge, and he's not that hard to fight because you have a block mechanic with your melee weapon, and now his block will his hits will completely break your block, but it also throws you away. So by the time he runs back up to you, your block's recharged again, and you don't take damage when you block. So basically, you just have to pay attention to who he's hitting and block, while everyone else just hits him with everything they have. And he takes a lot more damage than the tank. Maybe I'm just not doing headshots as well. I don't know. The final, slightly different from the regular rat enemy that I do really like, for the most part, is the storm vermin, and that's basically just a regular rat, but in full armor and with a giant halberdier. And they're very well done when they're mixed in with enemies, because you have to be very careful and mindful of them, because they have really long reach, and they're armored. So you have to hit them in the head unless you have an armor-piercing weapon. The trouble with these guys is, more frequently, they are seen in like little platoons of roughly 8 of them. And those can be very cool, but if they come on you out of nowhere, they can one-shot you. And things that one-shot you are not fun, because you'll be trapped in with a small group of regular Skaven, and then they'll just come up with their long reach and just hit you from behind. 2 of them at the same time will hit you from behind, because they can occupy the same hitbox and just wipe you out.
How's the game visually?
Visually, it's very, very good. I think it's beautiful. I really like this setting a lot.
It's very dark and grim.
It is, yeah. I think all... So right now there's 3 levels in this beta. I think at launch they plan on having 8 or 9. I think they all take place at night. There is a continuous story. Like, if you play them in order, it's a continuous story like Left 4 Dead, which is cool. Unfortunately, so Left 4 Dead, if you just take Left 4 Dead 2 and remove the Left 4 Dead 1 levels, I think it probably has about 8 missions you can choose from. The trouble is, a Left 4 Dead mission is broken up into like little tiny sub-chapters, like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
An entire Vermintide level is about one of those sub-levels. So when I say Vermintide's going to have 8 stories, it's like the equivalent of 2 Left 4 Dead story.
Oh, okay.
So I'm nervous about replayability issues with the game, because it might just get old kind of fast.
I saw that the person that did the music is Jasper Kidd.
I don't know the name, but I really like the music.
So Jasper Kidd has done music for games like Borderlands,
Okay.
Assassin's Creed, Hitman, Splinter Cell, Gears of War. So he's pretty well known in the. So yeah, I was guessing it's gonna be good. So is it good?
Yeah, it's really good. I don't think so. Warhammer, I think, has games typically do a pretty good job of having, visually, I don't know, this good music, good tone setting, strong music, and I think this is a good example of that. I don't know that it's as good as, say, like Warhammer Online, but in terms of its Warhammeriness of the music, like, you know, strong drums or whatever. But yeah, I really like it. There's it's like in Left 4 Dead 2. I'm gonna keep drawing that comparison because it's so close. I'm not gonna regret it. There's like let's say a zombie swarm comes towards you. There's usually a music cue for that. You don't really have that in this game. So the music's kind of not really tied to anything specifically.
It's just for the tone.
I think the Rat Ogre might have his own music. I can't remember for sure, but the characters do have very well recorded lines, and they interact with each other well. Like, so there's 5 different characters, but you can have a party of 4 characters. So there's a couple of elevator scenes where they'll start talking, and that talking will go differently based off of which combination of 4 characters you have in the elevator.
So, do you recommend it?
From what I've seen right now with the beta, I don't recommend spending $30 on it. As we get more information about the game, my opinion may change, but from what my current experience at this second, I would say no.
Does it feel like a Warhammer setting though?
Yes, I think so.
Alright, so
I mean, it's mostly humans. I mean, it's the Way Watcher's an elf, and you have the Dwarf Ranger, but so far all the settings have been in human lands.
Okay. So yeah, Foehamner doesn't recommend Vermintide, at least not now. Hopefully there will be updates, maybe DLC.
I would like to say I am optimistic that the game will be something I buy at some point.
So you do feel that the game has tons of potential? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just that what will make you buy the game? What would they need to add for you to buy the game at $30?
Well, I'd have to see what other like how long the levels are. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe they'd have to. I don't know if tweaking the loot system would actually change anything for me. Like, obviously the biggest factor would be if enough of my friends get it without listening to me, and they just get it. And so then it's like, well, I'm going to play with them, so I might as well get it.
Okay. So, yeah, Foehamner doesn't recommend Vermintide at this point in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it pains me to say it, because I've had fun playing it. I just don't think I'd have fun continuing to play it.
Alright, so in conclusion.
Yeah,
so this has been the Extreme Super Ultra review of Vermintide. And we'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.